right. What time do we have?
Everyone got some box?
1 minute.
1 minute? All right, 1 minute, guys.
Sharon Felton is running over here. She's just texting me back.
Oh, she's coming over?
She's coming.
See all these people saying, aren't they coming forward with Juanita?
Oh, Juanita!
Mom! Gotta run!
Oh, Susan! No.
Come on, Susan!
We'll wait, take your time.
We'll wait. We'll wait. Don't run.
She's like, I'm making it, I'm making it. I know.
Her little
Take your
legs,
time.
too. She's...
I don't want her to have a heart attack.
Exactly.
And of course, the jets are not going to cooperate.
I know.
Bye.
They got her mom in the house. They got her mom in the house.
You are speaking, you know, the justice.
Press conference starting here in a minute. We've got a press conference with the NAACP happening in Virginia Beach in about 1 minute.
All right.
Make sure the phone is off.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Gary McCullum. I am a minister with the Virginia Beach Interdenominational Ministers Conference, and I'm standing here with the president of the Virginia Beach NAACP, Dr. Eric Majette. I'm also here with Miss Georgia Allen. That name is probably familiar with you. She was one of the plaintiffs in the original case that brought about what we are fighting for today, and that is a district system. Many of you know that last year, this city council, conducted a survey, sanctioned University of Virginia, to go out and decide whether or not people wanted a different type of voting system. And to use the words from that study, the citizens of Virginia Beach overwhelmingly wanted a 10-1 system. And we are here today because there are things that are going on in Richmond right now to try to undo that. As we all know, in order for the 10-1 system, which we elected the most diverse city council in the history of Virginia Beach last November, that voting system it requires a charter change. And that is being debated right now in Richmond. But we have delegates from Virginia Beach who are basically not listening to the will of the citizens of Virginia Beach. The citizens of Virginia Beach, again, overwhelmingly wanted 10-1. And in fact, 81% of them wanted to have the 10-1 system. And in fact, this city council, on August 15th, 2023, voted 10-1 to absolutely stay with the 10-1 system. They've included the 10-1 system in their legislative agenda. So this is something that the citizens want. This is what the council wants. But again, we have people playing politics in Richmond and here in Virginia Beach to take us backwards. And that's why we're here today. We would ask that the press reach out to Delegate Tater and Delegate Knight and get their opinion about why they would want to go against the will of the citizens of Virginia Beach. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Eric Majette with the NAACP.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Eric Let's do that again.
Thank you, U.S. Navy.
The sound of freedom.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Eric Majette, president of the Virginia Beach NAACP branch here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. You know, we strongly believe in upholding the principles of equity, diversity, and representation embedded within the 10-1 district voting system. Removing this system would be a step backwards for us. Would be a step backwards for this city. Would be a step backwards. And we believe that this is the most diverse system to bring the most diverse council to the city of Virginia Beach in the history of Virginia Beach. So why are we going backwards? We need to be continuing to move forward. We also believe that going backwards jeopardize the democratic values we hold dear to our hearts. We urge the city and leaders to stress to their representatives in Richmond to prioritize the voices and the votes of every Virginian.
Thank you, Dr. Majette. And now I think it would be appropriate to hear from Miss Georgia Allen. As you recall, she was one of the plaintiffs in the original lawsuit that was filed. That lawsuit it ruled basically that the system that we had, the old hybrid system of voting in Virginia Beach, it was deemed illegal and violated the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And Georgia was one of the plaintiffs. So Georgia, if you could just say a few words.
Good afternoon. Again, I'm Georgia F. Allen, and also a plaintiff on the lawsuit that was illegal, on the voting system that was illegal, okay? And I'm here because after fighting in this city for over 40 years for fair voting, not just right now on the 10-1 system, but prior to that, we fought to change the voting of local city council races from May elections to November elections. So we've been in this fight a long time. This is not a one and done for me. Okay, this has been a lifetime commitment to ensure that every citizen in the city of Virginia Beach has a fair voting opportunity so that they can elect persons of their choice and not our delegates deciding who their electoral group will be. And so our job today is to remind those who are in Richmond that they will come up for election again in 2 years. And we will have our eye on them because this is not what the citizens want them to do. We did not elect them to go to Richmond to go against what our city council has voted for. The 81% of the citizens, what they voted for, we elect them to do the demands that we give them to do. And the demand was that they go there and codify this voting system and change our city charter. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Georgia. The question I would again ask, members of the media, when you talk to Delegate Tater and Delegate Knight, what is the reason? Why are you in opposition? Why are you going against the will of the people that you're representing? We all know that the 10-1 system, the biggest benefit that it brought was that it took moneyed interest out of our elections because you only had to run in a district. The old system, you had to run citywide. You were in a district, but the votes were counted citywide, which means that any candidate would have to mount a campaign over 200 precincts, larger than a member of the House of Delegates. That's insane. And so we have a system that works. It gave us, again, the most diverse city council in the history of Virginia Beach. And now we're having politics at the highest level to try to go against what the people of Virginia Beach have already said they wanted. I went to, along with several people standing here, we went to those listening sessions. Some of you, the media, you were there. You heard it. You've read the story, the study from UVA. The city, again, has already voted. The city council has already voted to go forward with a charter change codifying 10-1. So let's get the politics out of this and let's do what the people want. We'll take any questions that you guys might have.
Any specific comments on the most recent lawsuits that was filed this weekend? Right?
You'd have to talk to the plaintiffs.
Right.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to the plaintiffs because, again, we believe that that's part of this whole strategy, to confuse and obfuscate and to just cause doubt to a system that has worked for this system, for the city. We elected the most diverse city council in the history of this city, and it took money out of the race. We had candidates who actually won their seat with a fraction of the money that their opponent raised. That would never have happened under the old system.
And the city spent $1.2 million already, and that doesn't include the billable hours of the city attorneys that we already pay as taxpayers. We also spent almost $400,000 on the UVA Walden Cooper Center for Public Service to do a public survey. I myself spoke at 10 out of 12 listening sessions, and it's just time that they stop being irresponsible with the taxpayer dollars, fighting something that is absolutely inevitable and 81% of us want.
And here's a question I would ask. When has a lawsuit or a threat of a lawsuit ever stopped our legislators from doing their jobs?
When?
When?
It hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened.
No.
And the reason it's happening now is because what you're seeing, this politics at the highest level in Richmond, this is all designed to take us backwards. That's what this is. It's about doing away with the will of the people. The will of the people said we wanted 10-1.
The people have spoken.
They've spoken.
And on top of that, the will of the people was all across every line. Every ethnic group, every age group, every socioeconomic group, every single solitary group all agreed that the 10-1 system was the best system for the citizenry, because they had the opportunity to elect a person of their choice. And in the past, all the big money people had to do was just throw a whole bunch of money in the race, and you didn't have the same opportunity. But now, the districts are like 48,000 people, but only 30-some thousand are eligible voters. That doesn't mean 30-some thousand are registered, but there are 30-some thousand that are eligible. I can walk to that many doors. I can knock on that many doors. 30-some thousand versus over 400 and some thousand people in the city. I can do that. And I'm 70 years old, and I could walk to every last one of those doors in the district.
So when you filed that original lawsuit, did you anticipate a day like this where someone would file something to counter that? Or?
Can I answer that one? Can I answer that one?
Let me answer. Both of us going to answer
you know
this. Let me tell you.
Where we going?
I've been in the city of Virginia Beach since 1954. And I have watched from the country, below the Green Line, to the ocean front, to Shore Drive, and all in the Pembroke area. So I've seen this entire city. I've seen the mindset. So if you think I am shocked by what these people are doing, absolutely not.
And can I add to that? Let's back this up. We had an election November of 2022. So the question was, are we shocked by what's happening? No, we're not, because let's back this up to November of 2022. That election, as I said, gave us the most diverse city council in the history of Virginia Beach. So immediately after that election, because it didn't go the way folks wanted it to go, there was a decision to go out and hire University of Virginia to do a survey of the people of Virginia Beach. And I guarantee you that if the election had gone a different way, there would have been no survey. But because it didn't go the way that people wanted it to go, the power brokers in Virginia Beach, they said, well, let's do a survey. Let's see what the people want. And then let's figure out whether or not we're going to actually have a referendum in November of 2023. But a funny thing happened when they did that survey from UVA. It shocked them because it came back that 81% of the people in Virginia Beach across all socioeconomic everything, completely diverse, wanted a 10-1 system.
And they didn't even believe the survey that they put out there.
Yeah.
When it came back.
Right.
And that was every race.
Which again, it was statistically valid. The people wanted it. So let's fast forward. So that didn't work. So now let's figure out a way to play some political games in Richmond, because we all know Dillon Rule State, in order for this to be codified, it has to be done through a charter change in the General Assembly. So this trick, these tactics, lawsuits, threatened lawsuits, having delegates go and take a position that is 180 degrees away from the people that they represent, we're not shocked by this. But that's why we're calling attention to it, because I would want the media to ask those questions.
Absolutely. There you go.
Because that's what needs to be asked.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're here today.
And there's no return to a de facto system. That's gone, it's done. We need not have that. Returning to de facto, look that up. Okay, students, adults, everyone, no return, no reversion to that. Tactical.
Any other questions?
De facto system does not work. That system is deemed illegal.
So I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm Gary McCullum. I'm with the Virginia Beach Interdenominational Ministers Conference. Dr. Eric Majette is the president of the NAACP. We have other community leaders that are also represented here. This is an important issue, and I would encourage any citizen in Virginia Beach, particularly those who live in Delegate Tata or Delegate Knight's district, to call your delegate, email your delegate, and ask them why are they going against the will of the citizens of Virginia Beach. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.